The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is decent, good, and if you're on PC, I'm sorry. A lot of gamers, especially those who are like prominently voiced in the genre, I guess, of gaming opinions online, like to keep saying that, oh, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is a train wreck and Konami never made it with love. Like, do you not understand who Konami is? Like, the fact that they even made this in general was very, very fucking surprising. Like, you've got one, two, three, original one and two, plus Snake's Revenge, plus the comic books, plus the OST remastered. Like, that's as much love as Konami was ever gonna put into this. People like to assume that just because it's a remake or a remaster or a re-release, that's gonna get every love and attention to detail that they can get right, quality assurance out every end of this project, and also new things to, congratulate players for liking the series for, 30-ish years now. People don't understand that Konami doesn't equal Metal Gear. Kojima equaled Metal Gear. Kojima was the one that had the most love for the series and the most passion for it, even at the expense of his job, his livelihood. It is very clear if you've ever delved into Metal Gear Solid like creation lore that Kojima was the heart and soul of these games. The reason why Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, Peace Walker 5 ever came into existence was they had a team that echoed that sentiment and was able to translate his raw ideas, raw passions into something that was accessible to a player, able to be received by an audience, and able to be played in this. That's not to say that like Kojima is a messiah of video games, but it's also not to say that he's like the George Lucas of video games either. He's an artist. That doesn't mean he's either good or bad. He's just someone who creates art. And also, it doesn't mean that without Kojima, Metal Gear Solid is soulless. It simply means that it's just what it's always been. A video game produced by some guy who was really talented and good at being able to come up with exciting new ideas for players to feel engaged and part of the video game world that they're playing. And coming back to this whole scenario, yes, if you're on PC, you're having a harder time enjoying these games. If you're on Switch, you're also having a harder time enjoying these games. That's because Konami, again, doesn't have a team dedicated to it like Kojima was. Konami's using this to get money. That is how video games work. These games are still good. 1, 2, 3, everything still works as it is. Yeah, it's missing some HD textures that could be put in, or better resolution or better aspect ratios. That's all available if you have mods on emulation. But at the end of the day, Konami's not going to put in that work because this is just to say, hey guys, remember Metal Gear? Well, we kind of made that. We know the other guy did, but we kind of made that. We kind of did. A beautiful example of this is the definitive edition that Rockstar put out a couple years back with GTA 1, 2, and Vice City, and 3. Well, was there a GTA 2? Anyway, but with that being said, look at this. Oh, original. Oh, definitive edition. Oh, Vados Peds Pack Mods original. Like, listen, there are great ways to experience these games, GTA included, with mods and emulation support and third-party support. That's fine. But this is not this. Konami didn't go in and say, hey guys, we're going to give you the absolute best way to play Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. They said, hey, we're going to give you Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 and some extras and some other stuff too, just because, let's be honest, it's not available anywhere. It's not available on any digital marketplace to officially buy. And if you want to go get a PS3 to get the HD collection, the Legacy Edition, or if you want to get a PlayStation 2 to get the original 1, 2, and 3 and play those, you're going to have to pay an arm and a leg to get them. Because I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but the retro games market has ballooned in prices just because of the last half decade or so of people realizing, oh dang, old video games are cool. I can make money off of this. There's not going to be a true like heartfelt love letter to fans from Konami about Metal Gear, because Konami didn't have the heart in it in first place. They were the producers of the series. And yes, that does bode poorly for the upcoming Metal Gear Solid Delta, or Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, if you will. But ultimately, with the gameplay footage, we just saw, it's clear that Konami is putting in quality, effort, and time to make this good to go. They're not giving solid release dates. Simply saying, hey, we're working on it. Also, a lot of people don't seem to understand that there is a Volume 2 coming out. The Volume 2 will have Metal Gear Solid 4, Peace Walker, and 5. Maybe some portable games like Portable Ops and Acid, which, if we get Metal Gear Solid Acid on modern hardware in the same quality that we've gotten with these, like the Master Collection games, that'd be fucking wild. Metal Gear Acid is not good. And yes, I know we're probably not going to get Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, because that wasn't that people don't seem to understand that wasn't Kojima, that was Platinum Games. And Konami doesn't care that much, but in a world where we're given slop upon slop, and a similar world where we can get Cyberpunk 2077 coming back from the dead, basically, and No Man's Sky actually coming back from them beyond the grave, there exists a world where at least these games are playable on a PlayStation 5 or Xbox, and a PC and a Switch, albeit with some minor issues, but you don't have to go and spend $200, $300, $400 on a PlayStation 3 and finding these games on it, because 1, that's hard to do. 2, that's a lot of money. 3, you can play this on the same console that you have Spider-Man 2 on. And that, to me, is good. And the games are still the games. They haven't changed anything about them. They're still Kojima games. I can bet you money, if Kojima was given the opportunity to remake any of his old games, he would go back and change a lot. Like, a lot. Tell me that that's not going to happen, because I'll tell you you're a liar. Because honestly, Kojima only made good Metal Gear games because he had a good team behind him that understand his crazy ideas and his concepts. He doesn't have that team anymore. Those games happened in a once in a lifetime opportunity, and he knows that. Kojima is aware of this. What we get right now from Konami in Metal Gear Solid Master Collection and Metal Gear Solid Delta, it's going to be the best that we can get, and we just have to accept it one way or the other. Also, unpopular, and I also believe that Metal Gear Solid Delta will be probably Game of the Year when it's released next year, or early 2025. I'm sold on it. I'm not a Konami shill. I'm not a Konami simp, and I'm also not a Kojima simp. More of a Kojima simp in retrospect compared to a Konami simp. But come on, guys. We literally just saw this happen like a couple years ago, and you're going to complain that, oh, the aspect ratio isn't perfect on Metal Gear Solid 1, or, oh, the textures and the text are a little bit blurry on some displays and some of the older games, or, oh, this or that. Like, do you want this? Because you didn't get that. Stop complaining.